Hello students, today we are doing lesson 9.2 on factoring the difference of two squares. Okay, so before we start this, I'm going to go back to multiplying and we're going to talk about one of the special products we had in multiplying. So when we multiplied this problem, x plus y times x minus y, remember that we had to do distributive property with the x. So we would have x squared minus xy. And then we had to do the same thing here with the y. So we got xy minus y squared. Okay, and then when we put together our like terms, these two right here, they canceled each other out or made a zero, right? Negative xy plus xy is 0. So all we had was x squared minus y. Okay, today we're going to be working backwards. We're going to start with this right here, and we're going to work to get this. Okay, but let's do one more multiplication like this just to make sure that you've got it. So let's say we had, let's do 3x minus 1 and 3x plus 1. Okay, when you multiplied these, remember this was a special product because both of the parentheses were the exact same thing except one was a minus and one was a plus. Okay, so that was how we had a special product. And in that special product, remember that the middle numbers, like over here, were always going to make 0. So all you had to do was multiply your front ones, which this would be 9x squared, and your last ones, and that would be minus 1. And that would be your answer, right? I'm not going to box up because we're not doing answers right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this number now. You're going to see something like this, and we're going to have to split it up into two parentheses. So we're really just going backwards. And so if you look up here at what the name of our lesson is, factoring is what we did yesterday where we took a number out. You're trying to split it up, find factors of something, just like you could find factors of the number 27. And difference means minus, right? So right here I have a minus, right here I have a minus. So we're going to be working with minus signs. And then two squares. So this is the part I kind of wanted to go over with you. If you look at both of these examples right here, notice this is an x squared and this is a y squared. Notice that right here, 9x squared is 3x squared. Okay, so that's a square. And 1 is also a square because 1 times 1 is 1. Okay, so let's now put this to practical use and let me show you how to do an example of this. So I may be pulling the screen down in a minute for you to see those again. Okay, example 1 is, it says factor x squared minus 49. Okay, so in this lesson, they're all going to be the same, but I want to make a few observations to you for when you're doing this and you have other problems that are not like this. Okay, this is called a difference of square because this is a square, obviously x squared, and this is a square because it's 7 squared, right? So you kind of need to know your squares. If for numbers, you know, 1 squared is 1, 2 squared is 2, 3 squared is 9, and then we have 4 squared is 16, 25, 36, 49, 64, 81, 100. All of those are squares, right? Because I can say a number times a number equals one of those, or a number times the same number equals all of those. Okay, so these are called squares. And then things like x squared would be a square. Even x to the 4th is a square because that is x squared squared. Okay, so on this one, these are both squares. So to factor this, I'm going to make my two parentheses. One's going to be a plus and one's going to be a minus. Just like up here, they were always one was a plus and one was a minus. See, on both of these. And then I'm going to split up my first number. So this is x squared. So I know x times x makes x squared. And then I'm going to say what times what equals 49. Well, really it's only 7 times 7 or 49 times 1. But you always want to pick the one that has the same number. So 7 times 7. And that's my answer. That's it. Okay, so let's go and do another example. Let me look real quick and see how many examples we're going to have. Oh, there's only 2 examples, so this is super fast. Maybe because it's pretty easy to do. I'm going to give you a couple more examples to do on your own, though. Okay, example 2. This one's a little bit different, and I'll show you why. You're going to factor 5a squared minus 125x squared. Okay, so right away you can tell that this is not a perfect square. It has a 5 in front of it, and 5 is not one of these squares over here. So I need to do something different with this one. What I need to do, and from now on all of chapter 9, this is always the first thing you should do, is you go back to lesson 9.1 and you say, what number can I take out of this or factor out of this? Well, I can take a 5 out. So when I take out 5, I'm going to get a squared minus, let's see, that's going to be 25x squared. Okay, if you can't do that math in your head, then just get a calculator, go 125, divide it by 5, and that will give you 25. Okay, now I finished that. I took my 5 out, and that 5 is going to stay out of the parentheses. But now look inside the parentheses. I have a square here, right, a squared. And I have a square here. So, whoa, I don't know how did I get that? That was really strange. Okay, people, I don't know how I got that ruler on my page, so we're just going to leave it there for now. Okay, so since both of these are squares, we're going to have a plus and a minus. And my first one is easy. A times A is A squared. This one might look harder to you, but if I look over here at my list of numbers, I see 25 as a square. So what number times what number equals 25? It's 5, right? And don't forget the x at the end. So I have to have 5x and 5x. And there's my answer. Okay, I have no idea how I got this this ruler on here. Does it let me? Oh, it won't let me write on top of it. Okay, so I'm gonna have you do one on your own. Oh, there was an example 3. Sorry, I did not see that. Oh, look, it disappeared. Okay, so let's go ahead and do example 3, and this one you're gonna pause the video and do on your own. Okay, so I want you to factor 1 minus 64y squared. So first ask yourself, is there anything I could take out on the outside? And then look and see if these are perfect squares, okay? Okay, so go ahead and hit pause and do this one on your own. Okay, now that you're back, I cannot take anything out. You do not ever just take out a 1. Remember, 1s in algebra are almost like they're invisible. That if you had like 1 times something, you don't need to write 1, right? So we're not going to have 1 times something on the outside. So instead, I'm going to put my 2 parentheses. And I know these are both squares because 1 times 1 equals 1. This is 8 times 8, and this one is y times y. So everything is a square. And so I'm going to have a plus and a minus. 1's going to be in the front, right? 1 times 1. And then in the back, I'm going to have 8y. Because here I have an 8 and here I have a y. Okay, is that what everybody got? I hope so. That's it for your lesson today. Super short. Hopefully you'll understand this and get all your answers right from your homework. Make sure that you check the back of the book for your odd numbers. That's all. Bye.